Okay, so if you've just started lifting, then probably one of your biggest goals out of all the muscle groups to get big is your arms, right? Every guy wants to have big arms. That's kind of like the main thing that everyone can see. Usually when people come to you and say, oh, do you lift? Do you go to the gym? It's usually because they've seen your arms. I know for a lot of guys, you actually struggle to grow your arms. This is something that I used to struggle with quite a bit as well, but it's been one of my strongest points over the last like 2 years of me training, just because I feel like I've probably put the most time and effort into researching how to train like arms. It's like the number one thing that I was interested in learning how to train as well. So I put the most of my effort and time into learning how to actually train my arms properly. So in this video, I'm going to give you 4 methods that have been really helpful for me to actually just blow up my arms. They were stagnant for a while in my training. And then in the last like couple of months, I've been able to just like really make some solid progress in my arms. So I'm going to give you guys those 4 methods today. Okay, so the first method is to switch your split up so that you have a dedicated arm day. Now I know this sounds kind of like bro science, and there's actually quite a lot of good things that can come out of a dedicated arm day. The main one being that you can just focus on arms. A lot of people that are doing push-pull legs or something like that, you might be doing that. You train your biceps whilst you train your back, because the kind of back movements also involve quite a lot of bicep activation. But I actually think it's better to switch to an arm day and do back on its own, because 1, you're probably lacking in your back anyway, so you probably need to focus on that a bit more. But 2, there's nothing quite like just getting a really nice arm pump where you have your triceps and your biceps fully pumped up. So switching over to a dedicated arm day just means that you can focus entirely on arms. And when I actually switched over to an arm day, that's when I started to see some real progress. You guys might understand this. When you go into the gym for a long time, or if you just started and maybe you're a few months in or a few years in like me, you kind of start to feel less and less sore after each workout. And then you'll switch something up and do some major change and you'll start to feel sore again. And that's like a sign that you started to make progress again. And honestly, for me, as soon as I switched over to a dedicated arm day, I actually just noticed that I was feeling sore again. Like my triceps and biceps would actually be sore the next day, which is something that was rare for me. Like it was rare for my biceps to get sore. Literally just switching over to like just that simple change of like having a dedicated day where I focused on biceps and triceps in one day, just meant that like I could feel sore the next day afterwards. So the second method is to focus on your triceps over your biceps. So a lot of guys, and I was in the same boat, I was victim to this as well. I thought that training biceps is the thing that would get my arms big. And there is like some truth in that, right? You obviously need to train your biceps. I'm not saying don't train your biceps. I'm just saying that your triceps make up like 70% of your arm's mass, like the overall width of your arm, like how much of that shirt sleeve you can fill up is actually your triceps. And I didn't even really know this until like a year into lifting weights. I used to focus so much on biceps and I was constantly looking up on YouTube like how to grow biceps, what's the best bicep exercises, all that kind of thing. And I didn't realize that actually to like blow up my arms and to really start seeing some progress and filling out some shirt sleeves, I needed to focus on my triceps. If you're going into the gym to train arms or you've got a push day or whatever, focus way more on your triceps in terms of like the weight, the progressive overload, the frequency and volume. Focus more on that for your triceps than your biceps. Like obviously train your biceps, but don't worry about them too much, because your arms, if you want to just get overall big arms, then you need to like focus on your triceps. That is the number 1 most important muscle for your arm. You'll hear all kinds of fitness influencers talk about forearms and you break your Alice and the sort of side of your bicep and all these different heads of the bicep and different heads of the tricep and the horseshoe and all this kind of stuff, right? If you just do like heavy tricep push downs, like I'll put some clips in the video as well, but if you just do heavy tricep push downs, you will train the tricep, right? Don't stress yourself too much about what exercise to do. You could literally go to the gym and just do like 8 sets. Seriously, 8 sets of just tricep push downs, heavy, do a couple drop sets at the end, and your triceps will be pumped all hell, and they'll be sore the next day. I've been doing this like consistently now for weeks. Just switched over to like an arm day and focused way more on triceps. Just went in there, did triceps first before biceps, and really focused on them. And honestly, the pump I get just from being with a bar on the cables pushing down is unlike anything else you can get for triceps. You can do all these skull crushers and all this kind of stuff. That's fine. Do it if it feels good for you. But honestly, for the most growth, I recommend just getting onto tricep push downs and doing like at least 5 or 6 sets every workout. Method 3 is to think of tricep pushdowns as like a compound lift. So when you're training chest, right, you would start off the workout doing like a compound movement, right? So like heavy bench press or heavy like hammer press, something where like a lot of muscles are involved to push like a lot of weight. And then towards the end of the workout, you do some of the more cable stuff, some of the more lightweight, kind of just burning it out and getting the blood in there. Well, you got to kind of treat the arms the same if you want to see the same kind of growth that you'd see with like legs or chest. Go onto the tricep pushdowns at the start of the arm workout, right? And use heavy weight, right? Heavy weight. You obviously warm your elbows up, do 3 or 4 sets where you just got a light weight and just pushing down, getting, the movement in there. And then start off your workout, heavy tricep extensions, right? Heavy tricep pushdowns on the cable. And if you can do that, treat that as like your compound movements. So you're doing the majority of your sets there. Think of that as like the bench press, right? Think of that tricep pushdown as the bench press. Because I was the same, but a lot of people I see them, they just get the rope, right? And they just kind of, pump it out, and they'll do like 30 reps. And they'll just pump it out and get a really good burn. And that's kind of it. Whereas if you can do like 8 or 10 reps with like heavy weight, right, where it's uncomfortable to push down, that's kind of like the equivalent of like a bench press. And a lot of people treat triceps, and I was like this for a long time, just treat triceps like this muscle that can just like fatigue and like burn it out, which is good towards the end of the workout. But at the start, you want to be overloading the muscle, like keep the tension on there, put a load of tension on the triceps. That's how you're really going to grow your triceps, is to really load them up with weight, like some weight, right? Like you would on chest. Treat your triceps like your chest, right? It's a push muscle, the same kind of muscle. And you can load that muscle up heavy, and you can do heavy tricep push downs at the start of the workout. That's the number 1 tip I can give you for growing your triceps, just heavy push downs on the cable. And the 4th method I'll give you is to hit triceps and biceps twice per week, or roughly per week. I do it like every 8 days. So like I'll do, like my current split is split up into 4 muscle groups, right? So without a rest day in the week. So because that's like 4 workouts and then another 4 workouts, that's like my week of workouts, right? Obviously that's 8 days. So it's going to be every 8 days. I basically hit biceps and triceps twice every 8 days. And then on those workouts where you are training biceps and triceps, right, preferably an arm day, but whether, if you're still not doing an arm day and you want to do it separately, like push, pull, legs, whatever, aim to do at least 6 sets per workout for like biceps and triceps, right? So 6 sets of biceps on one day, and then like a couple of days later, like 4 days later, you're going to do another 6 sets of triceps. So over the total of the 8 days, you're going to do like between 12, 18, maybe even 20 sets for biceps and triceps, right? That's like a good amount of volume. What I like to do to just like break this down really simply for you, like a really good method you can follow to grow your arms, is you have a dedicated arm day, right, where that's biceps and triceps. You start off the arm day doing triceps, heavy tricep push downs, do at least 6 sets. And then you can do triceps again straight after, much more lightweight on the cable. And I quite like the cable crossover, doing that, like getting one from here, pulling them down to the sides. Do that with really lightweight, because you won't be very strong on that movement, I guarantee it. And you can just pump them out and do like 20, 30 reps and pump it out at the end for like 3 sets, right? That would be perfect. And then for biceps, you can just do the same thing that you're currently doing for biceps. I recommend just literally doing some like simple curls, honestly, like sitting on a bench and just curling some weight, and treat your biceps the same as you would your back. Just load it up heavy. Don't obviously injure yourself, warm your biceps up. But people often go light on biceps. A lot of people go light on arms. They don't actually do a lot of weight on their arms, and it's because they're not treating their arms the same as like chest or legs. You know what I mean? So I'm guilty of this. I used to be like this all the time. I used to just want to burn and rep out and get that really good squeeze and burn on the biceps and triceps. I really didn't focus that much on like actually getting some solid weight and really lifting it up and getting like 6, 7, 8 reps, that kind of thing. Hope you got some value out of this video, guys. Hope you can blow up your arms. Honestly, having like a really good arm pump and having big arms is like one of the biggest key things for like an aesthetic body. Remember, guys, just improve yourself by 1% every day and you'll get there. See ya.